Alright, what's up everyone? Today I'm gonna teach y'all how to play the solo and breakdown from Domination by Pantera. For starters, to play this riff, the original is tuned to E standard but a quarter step down, so it will sound like that. Mine is kind of out of tune. My intonation is really bad, so I did not tune this one. This is just a regular E, and the rest just sounds quarter step down, but that's the only way I can actually play these notes in the beginning correctly, so yeah. So we're gonna start off with the first chords that plays. It's just a G chord, a G power chord, 10th fret of the A string, and 12th fret of the G, or the D. And then it's just a half step below that, which would be just a G flat, or an F sharp. And then it's a open E power chord, which is open string, open E, 2nd fret A, 3rd fret D. So far we got. And then it goes back to the G power chord, and then G flat, and then I think he plays it like this live, but this is this would just be a D, but I think, no, this is on the album in the studio. Plays it like that, but I think I've seen him do this live though a few times. It's the same chord, it's just this one you get more open strings ringing out. But 2nd fret G, and then 3rd fret B, and then the rest are just open strings. So, and usually you would have this muted, so, or you can go for the power chord, which is over here. 5th fret, 7th fret, 7th fret, and then technically does a whammy bar dive bomb. I can't really actually create it very well because there's no Floyd Rose on this. But what I can do, he also has a bending thing going on. There's a lot going on over here. It's several different guitar layers, but a lot of people do go for this thing. And then that's the first lick that I'm gonna show you, but you could just do a unison bend, which is 13th fret, and then you bend the 16th of a full step. So 13th fret on the E, and then on the B string you bend this up a full step to match that note. And then you just, bend it up all at the same time. If you just let it come back down a little bit, it creates a lot of like crazy sounds and dissonance, and that's what you want. It kind of mimics almost the sound, almost the pitch of like a dive bomb, but not quite. But he also does a dive bomb over that, and that's probably what you're gonna hear the loudest. But so I think I played that a little bit wrong. So basically, you want to have a good grip. So the first thing, the grip you're going to want, for the most part, is just your thumb in the back. I mean, you could do it like this, but you're going to run into some issues, especially on the much harder licks and stuff, where you're going to have to really get under there. But yeah, you want a good grip where you're really working with your thumb behind there. So yeah. So the first, we're gonna separate this into a bit of smaller licks. So you got 13, pull off to the 12, hammer back on to the 13, and then hammer on to the, I like to hammer on all of it. I only pick the first note. Usually I find that really much easier. I think Dimebag actually goes more like, but here's how I play it. Just hammer on 13 to 12 on the E, or pull off 13 to 12 on the E, hammer back onto the 13, hammer on to the 16, and then pull off to the 13, and then pull off to the 12, and then pull off on the 13 again. So far we got, and then after you hammer on to I keep on saying hammer on. After you pull off from the 13 to the 12 twice, you go back to the 16th or the 15th fret. So 16th or 15th, and then you do that lick again, the 13, 12, 13, 12, pull off, and you go back to this 15th fret on the B. So far we got, I did that too many times, so and then you go back to the 12. So once you go back to 12, you just 15, 13, 12. So then when you get the 15, 13, 12 on the B, you hit the 14th of the G, and then you do a pull off from the 13 to the 12 on the B, and then you hit the 14th of the G again, and then 12 on the B, 13 on the G. So if you didn't catch on to it, or you just don't know what this is, we're mostly revolved around the Phrygian dominant scale in the key of E here, the root position. So I'll play it one more time slowly. You want a lot of vibrato on that. And then there's some tricky parts, so this is a quick little lick that's kind of easy here. So I think it's a 13. Yeah, 13 on the D. And you want to give it a hell of a lot of vibrato. You might even want to go for a different fingering approach here, but I usually just use my index finger, and then you can do like a pick and then hammer on, or just hammer on, but I think it's much easier to just pick every note, or it just sounds better. So 13, tons of vibrato on the D, and then 14, 15 on the A, and then 14, 15 on the D. And the first ones are kind of quick. So it's just, and you kind of just do it like that. And usually I have a decent amount, little bit of vibrato, but you don't really have to put in a bunch of vibrato because it's just happening so quick. But that one where you just let it ring out like, and then after this, you hit an open low E string and do a tiny little slide from the 12 to the 11. So, and give it as much vibrato as you can. And then you can do a huge slide into this next lick. This is gonna be probably the hardest part of this, honestly, because you do have to stretch through this. Even I have a hard time doing this. I'm gonna try to demonstrate it. It's not gonna be easy though. Something like that. But yeah, that's basically that lick. So you could slide in from like the first fret. I think that's what Dimebag does. If I'm being honest, sorry, I'm chewing on gum right now, but 12th fret, hammer onto the 15th fret, and I'd recommend using your middle finger for the 15th fret, and then pinky on the 18th fret. So it's just 12, 15, 18. You just do hammer-ons. And then you do the same 12, 15, 18 on the A string. And then you do it again on the D string. And then you go back to the A string and do it again. And I know that if you find this pattern familiar, I'm pretty sure Paul Gilbert, I think, is the one who does a similar thing. Like a similar like pentatonic technique, but he actually picks every note, and he would probably play, if he was the one creating this solo, he would probably do this a lot different. But it's kind of that same Paul Gilbert idea of just going up 3 strings and then coming back down 1 and then up 3 strings, then down 1. So you're just going. And then you just complete the pattern until you get to the B string. So. Once you do get to the B string, you just psych it out again one more time on the G string. and then you do this legato thing, and then you just keep doing the pull off and hammer on. So pull off from the basically everything you got, just hammer on or pull it all off to the 12, hammer back on. So 18 pull off to 15, and then 15 pull off to the 12, and then you're gonna want to hammer back onto the 15 and back onto the 18. And I think you want to do that maybe like 3 or 4 times, and then you do the same thing on the E string. It just continues the pattern. And then, so you want to start with a hammer on though, on both when you go to the E string. So and then this next part is pretty easy. It's just some tremolo picking. So you want to go to the 22nd fret. It's kind of just like, so you just hit it. So that's what it sounds like, slowed down a lot, because you're just going to be picking like, but it just happens really quickly. But it's just 2nd fret. I'd say like that's like 7 or 8 times actually. No, I think it's 7, something like that. You just basically tremolo pick, and you try to remember the rhythm. Like, that's mainly the important thing. You can tremolo pick as fast as you want, hit them as much as you want. You just want to make sure you get the rhythm of this. But yeah, it's just 12, 18, and 15, and then you do that 4 times, and then you're back to the diminished double minor 3rd. I think, yeah, double minor 3rd. Now you're at the 21st fret, and then the next 2 notes are the same. So altogether, let's just from the top so far. And then you got this big bend. This actually, you could screw it up pretty easily. This is probably the easiest part of the song though. You just... So I think that's actually a step and a half. 1.5 step bend. So just a step and a half bend, and then you do it again, and then you don't really like just release it, but I mean you can, but it sounds better if you just hit it one more time. So, and give it a ton of vibrato when you let it come back down. And then the next part, so this is another like kind of easier part. It just requires you to be able to alternate pick. at like it's not really fast, but it's just at a moderate pace. It's certainly not slow though, but you got 19, 20, 19, 20, 17, and then you hit the 19 again, and then 20 of the B, and then you go back to the 17. So far we got, and then you go to 19 of the E. If I said 19 of the E, I meant 17, so you go to 17. So 19, 20, 17 of the E, and then 19 again on the B, or the E, and then 20 on the B, and then 17 on the E, and then 19, 20, 17 on the B. And then you do this, like, you do it again, but so this time you do the same 19, 20, 17 twice on the B. But the second time you bend it up like a full step. Actually, like a step and a half. I mean, you could also do it like 19, 20, and then 21 of the G. But I prefer to do it. It sounds a little bit cleaner. But yeah, that's what we got so far. And then this part is a little bit tricky. This one, I don't even know if I am playing this one 100% correctly like the original, but I think I got it down to like what I think I think I can do it good enough to teach this. So yeah, but kind of staccato, like very just starts and stops. Not a lot of like this isn't supposed to be like a fluid motion, like no, it's just so 22, 21, 20, 19 on the B string, and then kind of a pull off lick. So 20 twice, but the second time you pull off to the 19 on the B, and then you hit the 22 on the G string. And then you go to the next one. You could do this with like a slide, but I find it easier to just do a pull off again. So you just do the same, like just a half step down. So 19 twice, but the second time you pull off to the 18. And then you hit the G string on the 22nd fret, or 20th fret, sorry. And then you kind of just do a bend on the 20th fret of the B. And you kind of let it come back. You do it kind of quick. And then 18, 20 on the G string. So And then this next part, some people do this differently. I don't have a whammy bar, but if I did, I would have just flicked the G string and then let the bar go down and come up a little bit, and it would just kind of go. But for me, I'm just gonna use the 10th fret of the A string because that matches the open G string note. So you just bend the crap out of it and give it a lot of vibrato. And then you just hit it again and really quickly. You want to hit the 8th fret of the low E. And then this is another kind of hard part, but it's not super difficult actually if you have your alternate picking down. You just got to be able to, do that and also have a really fast left hand, but I'll just demonstrate real quick. I don't have a whammy bar, but after that big bend, he would usually do a little dive bomb. Actually, a big dive bomb. And I think he would actually do it more like a really high one. Probably just do a really high dive bomb. But I'll break it down. So it's mainly just a minor scale, like long run. 8, 10, 12 on the low E, and you do it twice. And I think Dimebag also sometimes he just picks every note, and when he's doing these like 6 note per string runs, and then he like unpalm mutes it, or like he lets go just a little bit on the palm mute so he can do it. I find it too hard to just do legato and mixed with alternate picking. I pick one or the other usually. That's why I just do mostly legato, or I just pick every note if I'm doing like Cowboys from Hell, like that weird lick. But I usually just pick every note on this ending, so I'm just gonna call it an alternate picking lick. So you do the 8, 9, 10 3 times. Is a fly, or twice, and then you do the same thing on the A string, except the 8 is now a 9, so 9, 10, 12, and then same string, just shift it over, 10, 12, 14, and then you play the same frets on the D string twice, and then same, almost the same frets. So the G string, 11, 12, 14. And then the B string. Uh, 12, 14, 15. And then 14, 15, 17, and then 15, 17, 19, and then you go to the E string, 15, 17, 19, and then 17, 19, 20. So far. And then this part is kind of a weird one, because I don't think he actually just goes, he kind of goes like, he kind of just goes crazy on it at the end. But, well, I'd say, like, what he probably does the most here, or, like, what I think he does is, I'll just hold it like this. 20, 19, 20, 22. And he just repeats the crap out of that. And then he just ends it with a huge bend. And if you want to just kind of fake the dive bomb, something I do is I just grab 2 strings at once so they're kind of sticking together. And I just let it release. And it makes that sound. It sounds even crazier if you put it on the neck pickup. I mean, maybe this whole thing. But yeah, that's the solo, actually. That's the end of the solo. He just does a huge dive bomb. I can't recreate that with a fixed bridge, obviously. So we're just going to head into the breakdown. This is the easy part. There's some stuff that goes over the breakdown, but I'll just demonstrate. It's basically like the first couple licks. It just kind of repeats that. We're not going to focus on that, actually. We're just going to focus on the rhythm parts, because this is the part everybody, like, really sticks around for. Turn my volume up. So it's just a palm muted E power chord, and like super heavily palm muted. You want a lot of gain too. He definitely scoops his mids and has a lot of bass and treble. So you just hit it 3 times. I think it's in triplets, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. I can't tell. I don't know. It definitely has like a just groups of 3s though. Just 3. You do that 4 times, and then you do it 3 times. You do 3 chugs 3 times. But it kind of switches up like the rhythm a little bit, not too much, but it just kind of throws it backwards. So like the accented note is like the last one instead of the first one. I don't know how to explain it, but you kind of just have to feel for it. But yeah, that's basically what you got to do right there. And then after that does that a number of times, it starts to do this. Which that's just filling in all the gaps between the beats, and it just 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 times, groups of 10. And I should mention, this should all be down-picked. I mean, I can't choose how you play, but it sounds so much better if you down-pick. It's like, imagine... I don't like how that sounds. It just sounds better if you actually... So, you know, you're going to have to practice that a little bit if you don't have the fastest down picking. But I feel like if you got this far, you should be able to play this. But, yeah, it's just an F power chord, and then you just go back to the weird downbeat thing. Three groups of three. There's 3 groups of 3. Then it goes into like the slide. It just kind of, the second time you do it, you kind of slide on that last note, and then just go back into that, and then it just ends up the last time. And there's just a ton of reverb at the end, and it's just that. I think he like lets go just a little bit. I don't think he like fully lets it ring out though, but he just kind of lets go of the palm mute a little bit. Like something like that, but that's the last chord, and then the song is over. So yeah, that's a brief rundown. I mean, it wasn't so brief. We're already over half an hour in, but that's how you play the solo and breakdown. I feel like I could have explained it a little better, but I kind of forgot what I was even talking. I had to do another take because like I kept on like saying like I kept calling that a D. Because I thought I was on that chord, so I kept on calling this a D, and then that a D flat. But yeah, I just had to keep on doing takes, and this is the only one I got that was like decent. So I'm keeping this one. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment what solos or riffs or songs or whatever you want me to teach next. If I can actually play them. I'm not like the best guitarist ever. I could leave some to Anderson, I'll link his channel, if I remember to, but yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this video, and drop a like if you did, and comment what you want to see next. See y'all later.